Hello and welcome to Eradicate Diseases, the learning channel. If there ever was a game changer in the medical industry that could have been used, it would have been when SARS-CoV-2, as it was then known, or COVID-19 broke out. Just how valuable would such a tool be? Well, think of the millions of deaths, the hundreds of millions of cases of sicknesses, and the burden on the healthcare systems globally, the closures of businesses and school, educational centers, as well as traveling through cruise ships and airports. And also think about in the last 2 weeks since the date of this video of April 25th, that over 1.2 million people have been sickened in the last 2 weeks from COVID-19. And this is in the 4th year now of this pandemic. We also had to wear masks. We also had so many disagreements. Our lives were riveted. Depression, and the list goes on. So again, it is important then that such a tool be made available so that we do not have to cross this bridge again in the case of another pandemic. So obviously the question arises, is there some type of technology that could eradicate COVID-19 and possibly prevent the transmission of COVID-19? Well, let's take a listen to what the World Health Organization Director Executive of the Health Emergency Program stated in several public health conference meetings that are posted online. We put these 3 segments together for copyright reasons, and we will discuss these after the 30-second video. Have a listen.
Linking both a mucosal vaccine with an injectable vaccine allows you to give full protection. Using the two together consistently over time in a population allows you to eradicate the virus and eradicate its negative impacts. And we may end up at some point in the future using a combination of nasal vaccines and injectable vaccines for COVID.
And would that actually be a game changer in preventing transmission of COVID-19?
Yes.
So, a game changer. A game changer that would prevent the transmission of COVID-19. So to be fair, if you want to go to the description below, you will see several links there to the World Health Organization's public health meetings. And you just have to click on them and they will take you directly to the conversation where it discusses how COVID-19 can be eradicated. So let's get back to the game changer and the tool that would have helped in January 2020 and could help with other outbreaks and new and emerging diseases. So what did they say? In order to eradicate COVID-19, we need injectable vaccines and we need intranasal, or he said mucosal vaccines. So what are they? And what is mucosa or mucosal? Mucosa is the lining of all of our body organs. And mucosal vaccines then contain antibodies that are sprayed into our nose or swallowed that coat the lining of the mucosa and that bind up and trap, if you wish, the virus, the specific virus. Now, in the case of COVID-19, we've had alpha, beta, gamma, delta, omicron, and each of its subclades, and we're more familiar now with the subclades of of omicron, which are XXB.1.5 and BA.4 and BA.5, and over 600 more, according to the World Health Organization. Just a month ago, they said. So, a mucosal vaccine is a game changer. Well, for what reason? Well, there's two reasons. And we want to focus on this rather than the injectable vaccine, although the injectable vaccines are very important, and we will get into another video about that. But right now, in order to prevent the transmission of a virus, or in this case, COVID-19, a mucosal vaccine could, number one, prevent us from getting the infection in the first place. Now that's a very, very big thing. Imagine not getting sick in the first place. And this is what the World Health Organization said in their other videos, is that due to the broad spectrum of antibodies that are found in these mucosal vaccines, we could potentially prevent the transmission. And so this is the second outstanding reason for having a mucosal vaccine, is that it prevents the transmission of the targeted disease, in this case COVID-19, either its ancestral variants, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, omicron, or its subclades. Now, again, we want to remember that COVID-19 it's possible to eradicate COVID-19 and potentially produce a product or tool that could prevent large-scale outbreaks. We are going to have outbreaks. Will they turn into epidemics? Well, it depends on a number of factors. But could we prevent these outbreaks? Could we prevent epidemics and then pandemics? Well, if we could prevent large-scale epidemics turning into large-scale outbreaks turning into epidemics, then certainly we could prevent pandemics. And then this type of game-changing technology or product could be used to help eradicate other diseases. And in the case of eradication, we will talk about that in the next segment after we discuss some industry pitfalls. And we want to do this not to pick apart the current technology, which has saved millions of lives and prevented possibly tens of millions dying and many hundreds of millions more being sickened. But we want to focus on now on the industry pitfalls. The WHO has, through their public meetings, health conference meetings, has outlined many pitfalls within the medical industry. And if we can help this industry, then we want to know, first of all, what we need to help. And so that's why we're going to look at a few of these pitfalls. And in the next following video, or in episode 2, we will discuss these on a much in-depth basis. But for now, let's listen to this little presentation here, and then after that, I will provide some more comments. The pitfalls of the industry are, we've been familiar with most of these during the pandemic itself. In episode 2, we will look at some of the solutions, if not all of the solutions, to each one of these, and we will describe them a little bit more in detail. The purpose of this video is actually to introduce us to the concept of eradicating diseases. And we will talk about that in the next few minutes. But here, what we want to remind everybody is that something that sounds impossible, such as eradicating COVID-19, and potentially eradicating or preventing the transmission of a potential virus or outbreak, is possible. And how do we know that? Well, again, the executive director of the World Health Organization himself said in the video that he had been thinking and talking about mucosal vaccines from the very beginning of the pandemic. And so some scientists will agree, and of course some will not. But what we want to also remember is that something that seems impossible can be accomplished if we put our mind to it. And so education is just one step. Scientific research, of course, and building a tool that could help prevent outbreaks or turning into epidemics and pandemics does take some forethought. And it is possible. If we just look at the capturing of the rockets in mid-space as they come down, or if we think about the rockets landing safely back on Earth, there was a lot of science involved, a different view on it, but at one time it was thought impossible, but now it's happening. So we don't want to think that it is impossible to eradicate diseases. And as I mentioned earlier, with regards to eradication, I will put another link in the bottom here for you to take a look at in regards to what the meaning of eradication means. Now, what comes to our mind right away is extinction, to get totally rid of it. And that's true. It is a form of eradication. There was in 1999, scientific think tank that put together 5 different methods of eradication. And one was control of the eradication, elimination of the incidence of the infections, the geographic elimination, and 4, complete eradication, and 5, the extinction of eradicating a disease. We will take a look at that again in a future episode, but sufficient to say that we have to start somewhere. And wouldn't it be great to prevent another outbreak? And right now, there is, according to the WHO and global scientists, they are on the alert for the next pandemic, which they feel is the H5N1, for which there is no known vaccine, although they have created a lab vaccine, but there is no major scale vaccines for this because it may change again in the future, like COVID-19 changed from alpha to beta. Remember that? So what we want to focus on, though, is getting rid of the potential of another pandemic. And so we want to help educate people to learn about this, if it is possible, how it is possible, when it is possible. We want to help you to understand the different forms of treatment. So mucosal vaccines come in various forms. And again, we will get into that in another episode. Also, there is different ways in order to help reduce the pitfalls. And we will get that into that in the next episode. Also, we encourage you then to subscribe, subscribe, and subscribe if you can, and share this video with family, friends, loved ones, co-workers, classmates, everyone that you know, because we all deserve to have an education to help us to understand that the eradication of diseases and potentially outbreaks is possible. Yes, clinically superior products or a better product is needed, and something that has emergency use authorization by the appointed authorities. So all of this is possible, just as landing the rockets back on Earth, either physically or mechanically down to the Earth. So we look forward to sharing this information with you. If you would like to go to our website at www.eradicatedeseases.org, we encourage you to do that. And if you would like to put some positive comments and write us and tell us how you think you can support us, then please do so. As a question, cliffhanger, we noticed that with polio, a sugar lump was used to help deliver the antibodies that would help eradicate polio. How about, if you'd like to give a comment, think about maybe your favorite food, or not sugar, but maybe something that could help, or that you would like to have a form of treatment in. Not a sugar lump, but something different. It could be food, it could be drink, it could be whatever you want to think. But if you'd like to add that in your comments, please do so. And we look forward to seeing you in episode 2. Yes, also check those links from the WHO also in the description below. And thank you for listening.